Stitch Fix update, plus dreading the scale. That's today's topic on Meema McLiving Healthy. Stay tuned. Hello. As I said in the intro, I have two topics today. One is an update on my Stitch Fix shipment, plus dreading the scale. And I'll go into the dreading the scale second, just like I said it. I wanted to first go into an update of my Stitch Fix. As you remember, in my last video, I shared the latest Stitch Fix shipment that I had gotten. I ended up purchasing all 5 items that I was sent, and just in these last 2 weeks, I have worn 4 out of the 5 items that I got in that shipment. Now I'm going to put up a couple of pictures here. If you noticed on my thumbnail, there was a picture of some of the stuff I've worn. The only thing I have not worn is the dress. And yet, I have tried it on again with a black camisole, and it looks great on me. And, you know, I know that sounds prideful, but that's okay. It's all right to have clothes that look good on you. And for many years, I felt like nothing looked good on me. So I'm very excited about these new items, and I look forward to wearing the dress to church one of these days in the next month. One of the items that I bought, which was the purple cow neck top, I have not just worn it once or twice, but I've worn it 3 times since I got it. It is right now my very favorite top. And I didn't take pictures of me with it on, but needless to say, it was very comfortable. It's very soft. It's rather lightweight, but I can add just a tank or something under it that will make it work for me for probably most of the winter. And so I'm looking forward to this year just because I have that purple cow neck. And you'll probably see me in it in a future video. And while I'm talking about seeing me in it, this is the 3/4 length sleeve top that was in that Stitch Fix shipment. And I've got it on today because all of a sudden down here in the South, we're having 90-degree weather again. After having some cool nights and cool mornings, we're back in the 90s. It may just be for a few days, but I needed something that was not full-length sleeves, and so that's why I'm wearing this. Okay, let's go on to the second part of this video, dreading the scale. Now, I'm just going to get right out and tell you what my weigh-in has been these last couple of weeks. It hasn't been pretty, but this is what it's been. A couple of weeks ago, I weighed in at 121.6. I didn't have a really bad week that first week, but when all was said and done, I had gained 0.8 pounds. That was all right. The video that I was going to make last week said, you know, that's the way it goes. When I gain, as long as I can keep it under 1.5 pounds a week, I'm okay. Well, I should have gone ahead and made that video because this week I found myself not tracking. I'm not saying I didn't track at all. I'm just saying when I begin to get hungry and eat too much, I stopped tracking. And I had more than one day like that. So when all was said this week, I gained another 2.2 pounds. So over these last 2 weeks, I've gone from 121.6 to 124.6. That's 3 pounds. That's too much. I've got to realize that if I don't stop this trend, I'll have another 10 pounds to lose like I did last year. I don't want to go there. But you know, one thing that never happens to me anymore, praise the Lord, is I never avoid the scale. I get on the scale every week that I'm able to. Unless I'm out of town, I'm going to be getting on a scale on Thursday mornings. Now, why? Because if I don't, I will repeat a experience that I had in 2016 and 2017 when I was going through a health crisis. I had hyperthyroidism, and I was put on a drug that made me go directly into hypothyroidism. That means my metabolism slowed down almost double, and I gained a total of almost 25 pounds during that time. Now, how did that happen? Because I was no longer tracking. I was feeling sorry for myself because I really thought, hey, I'm trying my best to eat what I'm supposed to eat, but I'm gaining weight. And then eventually, the last 3 months, which included the time that I had my surgery and then about 6 weeks after, I no longer tracked. I no longer tracked my weight. I was not getting on the scale. I was probably, this has been 4 or 5 years ago, so I can't remember exactly, but I don't think I was tracking at all. And luckily, I didn't gain more than what I did. So by August of 2017, I was out from my surgery for 6 weeks. I got on the scale and I weighed 145.2. Now, as best as I can remember, the beginning of 2016, I weighed about 125 pounds. So that means in 18 months, I had gained 20 pounds. Now, I'd actually gained more than that, but the few times I did get on the scale and track my weight, it was up to around 150, and I would back away from that. Because you see, I didn't want to weigh 213 pounds again. And that was the way I was going. And I had, over the years, when I would have a successful weight loss, I would always follow it with weight gain. And usually about 10 pounds more than that. So after I had gotten my surgery over with in August of 2017, I realized that if I didn't do something, I was going to be 213 pounds again. Probably 10 pounds more than that. Because that was my history. Whenever I lost weight and gained it back, I always gained at least 10 pounds more. So this is a hard thing for me to admit to y'all because this was after I was on Weight Watchers. But this is the great thing about admitting it to y'all. I was able to get it off. How did I do it? For one thing, I stopped dreading or avoiding the scale. And I paid the piper, just like I'm going to do this week. I decided I had to be serious and be committed to weight loss, or I was going to fall into that same category that I'd been in years ago, and I didn't want to do that anymore. Now, that was August of 2017. By March of 2018, I had not only lost that 20 to 25 pounds, but I'd lost an extra 10 pounds. That's when I began to say, okay, I'm going to have to lose a cushion because I know there are certain times of the year that I'm going to gain weight. probably around my birthday, which is in May, sometime in the summer because we grill a lot, and then especially around Thanksgiving and Christmas. I've only, out of all these years that I've been on Weight Watchers, I've only had 2 Christmases that I didn't gain weight. But that's okay. I realize I'm going to do it now. I realize that I have to be serious, that I have to be committed after certain holidays, like my birthday, the summer, which that's a pretty long holiday, but specifically in July, I have a tendency to gain weight. And then after Christmas, I have to be dedicated. I have to get back on that Weight Watcher wagon, or I will continue to gain weight. Now, this is a hard fact to understand, but I know a bunch of y'all out there understand it, because if I've done it, if I've seen others on Weight Watchers or on other diet plans do it on YouTube, then I know it happens a lot. So I'm here to tell you from my experience, don't avoid or just don't dread the scale. Get up, pay the piper, and get on that scale and figure out how much you've lost, or more likely than not, gained that week. You'll thank yourself later if you make a habit of always getting on the scale. I can't remember exactly if I told you my total weigh-ins for these last 2 weeks, so I'm going to repeat it here. A couple of weeks ago, I started out at 121.6, and this morning, when I weighed 124.6. So that's 3 pounds that I've put on in the last 2 weeks. I have an 8-year anniversary coming up, October the 2nd. I celebrate that as being the first time I reached my initial goal of 137 pounds. Now, luckily, I'm not going to weigh that this year, but I don't want to be those 3 pounds up either. So say a little prayer for me that I can stay true to what I know works, and that's tracking and making wise food choices. Please let me know in the comments below about times that you've struggled. It may even be right now. But if you have advice for me, please give it, because I'm always open for advice. You see, that's one great thing about knowing that you've got to keep your weight under control. You learn lessons every day. I found a new food a couple of weeks ago, and I'm excited to share it with you, but I'm not going to do that today, because today is more about weight loss instead about what we eat. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, and hope you have a wonderful week. Goodbye.